Hello everyone. So because everyone in the class is new to the AnyLogic software, I wanted to share with you an example of what your final model for individual assignment 2 could look like. And you can choose different colors or organize it a little bit differently, and that's all completely fine. Use this as a guide, but it is not the definitive one answer. So when you want to run your simulation models, when you're all finished, you want to make sure your model is open and showing up in your projects panel here, and then click this green play button. And when you click the green play button, it will launch the model in a pop-up. So we can see here. So then to see my model in action, I'll click the play button here. It says run. So in this model, I'm looking at the potential users for a product and then individuals as they want to buy it, colored in yellow, and those that become users colored in purple. And we can see over time the increased use and demand for this specific product throughout the population. And not only can we see this change occurring in our population of agents, we also have this awesome area chart that's slowly populating that shows us in a perhaps more quantifiable, as opposed to just a cool animation format, what is really going on in terms of the breakdown between those who are potential users, those who want to buy a product, and those who actually successfully become users. And I can speed this up a little bit. Run it as fast as possible. And it's going to keep going, but we can speed up time, we can see how things change over time, and that can be very, very useful, and it can really bring complex systems alive for folks. So now that you've seen what this simulation could be or look like, we can look at some of the different components of the project. So right now I'm going to close the simulation. And when you started in the very beginning, you started most likely with this main view. And this is the area where we sort of pull all of the different elements together and enable them to interact with each other and gather a lot of the important information and statistics that we want to gather from our model. So in this case, I have my area chart illustrated. And if I want to, I can drag and drop, I can move that around, it's very responsive. And I also have my consumers, my agents. And the little pictogram guy there, that's how I know where my agents are going to show up on the central or home screen of the simulation. So when you actually run the simulation, the screen that you start with is tied to this main sheet, and what you see in that page is generally bounded by this blue rectangle, which is provided by default. Because this is an agent-based model, we have some agents we want to add, and those are our consumer. And I can double click to open that page up. And what we have in this tab is our state chart that actually reviews what each of our agents are doing, what their status is at a given time. This is where we keep those learning rules and those decision-based heuristics that inform the actions and choices that our agents make. So the information in the consumer tab or area of the simulation is all about the elements that dictate your agent's individual behavior. And then the simulation main tab, this is just that first page of your simulation when you open it up. You can add images and graphics to make it a little bit more interesting and interactive than just marketing model. So with that quick rundown, I'll open up the simulation again by clicking this play button where it says Run Marketing Model. You can also use F5 if you're on a Windows machine. So this should look very familiar. It is the same as the simulation screen behind it. And I'll hit play. And this is exactly what is shown to us in our main tab, where we have both the chart illustrated as well as our symbol for our consumers indicating that the beginning of that field is going to be right about here when we open up the simulation window. So hopefully that helps you get a little bit more oriented and helps you kind of get an idea or vision of what you're working toward in Individual Assignment 2. Best of luck getting it done, and you can always reach out if you have any questions while you're working on this model.